welcome back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, and as usual, we're sponsored by the Excelsior Sporting Club. Today, I'm bringing you an interview with Jordan PURKISS. Jordan, how you getting on, mate?
Very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I just want to, take it right back. First interview with you. How did you first get into boxing?
I was 17. I'd done a lot of sports throughout my life, and I was good at them. And then I was getting in trouble a lot for fighting and things. And my mate's dad was a coach at the amateur gym, so he said you should come down. I first went down there. There was loads of kids. It was like under 11s or something like that. So everything was proper easy. And then he said, "Oh, the adult classes start at 7:30. Like you can stay and wait." So I waited, and then the seniors turned up. He said there's like a 3 month waiting list, but as you're here today, you can train, and then we'll put you on the waiting list. They all took me on the pads, and then they went up to my mum and said, "Get his stuff. He starts tomorrow."
Quality. Well, from what point did you go from, right, this is something I'm going to do to occupy myself, keep myself busy and on the straight and narrow, to this is my job now? When did that change for you?
Well, I stopped boxing at 22, so I did 7 years as an amateur, I think, and I turned 22 and I just fell out of love with boxing. So I sort of started going out, enjoying myself. And then when it was in lockdown, I see a few people on telly that I'd beat or I'd fought against. And I thought, like, they're doing well, they're getting paid for this. So I'm going to give it a go. I didn't want to be one of them people down the pub that goes, "Oh, I could have turned professional." So I
Mm.
just thought I'd give it a go.
Well, just before we talk about the pro game, how did you find the amateurs? Because some people I speak to, they hate it. It don't suit their style, but some people loved it. How did you find it?
It was mixed for me. I started late, obviously, when I was 17, so I was
Mm.
playing catch up. So I was thrown in the deep end. Fought at multiple weights when they should have just let me fought at one. But still learning, and like it means nothing really. Like I've sparred people, fought people that had so many more amateurs than me. It means nothing. It just means what you learn and you adapt, and how you push forward as a pro. So the transition was much better for me. I prefer pro style, slow everything down. It's a lot better, and you find a lot more people out because in amateurs you're more protected.
Mm.
It's more about point scoring than it is about precision shots and things. So
Yeah. Well, talking about moving to the pros, you made your debut in Perfectly. Well, the thing is, you only get one debut. Tell me how it went.
be honest with you, I'd forgot how to fight. If I'll be honest, they uh they announced it, and obviously everyone told me your first time they announce your name as a pro, it's different. And I've been in so many fights, I just thought, oh, it's going to be the same. As soon as that's my name, I was like, oh my God, it hit me hard. I had to look at the floor. Everyone was cheering for me because obviously I was a local lad. Like, I literally grew up in FARRELL, so it was everyone was there. And obviously, like, it hit me bad, so I couldn't even look at anyone. I'd gone to the ring. I knew my dad tried to spud me, but I couldn't do anything. So I just nah, carried on going. The first round it was very wobbly for me because obviously 3.5 years out, I'd only been turned professional within a month and a half, 2 months. I had my debut, so everything was still raw for me. And then once I'd done that, I got that first round out. Obviously, I started to settle in, and then yeah, that first fight was an eye opener really because
Mm.
thought as an amateur I got a lot of stoppages, so I just thought I was going to blow everyone away. And then when I fought that Spanish geezer, he'd only I think he'd won two, lost three, but then he had like 65 amateurs and he was tough. So for my
Mm.
first fight, I thought, oh fuck, this is going to be hard
Yeah.
work, but yeah, I learned a lot from that, and then it made me want it even more. So yeah, just
Mm.
good to get that one out.
But fast forward to now, you're 6-1. Talk to me a little bit about the journey, the ups and downs, because like you say, you turned pro, and a few months later, you was in that first fight after 3 years out. Well, like we say, fast forward to now, you're 6-1. Talk to me about how the journey's been so far.
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey to be honest with you. Like my first fight was perfect. My second one went to Kazakhstan, which is massive in itself. And then my third and fourth, I think they were both at Civic Hall. And then my fifth fight was for a title, so that was like proper quick succession. And then I won two titles, and then I lost my last fight defending my title. Got knocked down 3 times, which surprised the hell out of me, you know. But I got up and continued fighting, and then we clashed heads, and I had a massive scar. So unfortunately, my corner had to take me out. So that's the down part of my career to date. Like having that on my record, that
Yeah.
everyone will always see that. But I knew I could have finished the fight. I knew that I'd come back stronger. But now it's given me the opportunity to fight for titles or and go down back to the weight that I wanted to fight at. So hopefully I can do the same there and push on and become better than I did at bantam.
Mm. Well, that's the thing. You can talk about the loss all you like, but at the end of the day, you said it there. You was fighting for a title in your sixth fight. That don't happen often. Do you know what I mean? It shows that the quality's there and that was just an off night. So, talk to me a little bit about what's next. You said about moving back down to Superfly. What's the plan moving forward?
Yeah, like me and my team, even before my last fight, literally just before the weigh-in, I made the weight really easy. I was only like 300 or 400 grams over super flyweight anyway, so it was agreed in all of us that from then onwards we'll go back down to super fly.
Mm.
Um, I had a suspension, had a bit of time out, went back, started training, and then yeah, I'm looking at fighting in December. I think we're doing an 8 rounder because I didn't want to do a 6 or 4.
Mm.
So I think we're doing an 8 rounder in December, and then should put me in contention for a title in February.
Mm. Well, you mentioned that team, and part of that team is your trainer, Will Jones. I just wanted to talk about what that relationship's like because I spoke to him a few weeks ago now, and he seems like a quality bloke, a great character. Talk to me about that relationship with him.
Yeah, like me and Will have only been really, realistically, we've been friends about 2 years, but we're super close. But I can go around, be with him, be with his daughter, be with his missus, and likewise, he can come be with my friends and family, and it's like we've known each other for years. We've got a lot of respect for one another, we trust one another,
Mm.
so that makes it a lot easier to work with one another, and we understand one another. So it's a massive thing, and our gym alone, like everyone supports one another. We'll go to other people's fights. We'll all want to help each other, push each other, regardless of level, regardless of where we are
Mm.
in our careers. And that's massive in my opinion, and it goes a long way. We literally are a family.
Yeah. Well, talk to me a little bit about that gym life because you've got a cracking fighter like O'Hara Davis in there who's looking to fight Rolly Romero whenever he sorts himself out, basically. Then you've got people like Brooke Eaton and all the other top prospects in there, really. It seems like a laugh, if I'm honest, from the stories I've heard and stuff like that. What is the gym like from a day to day?
Yeah, that literally never every day is the same. We all joke and laugh with one another, banter. We'll take the mick out of each other, but we're all there for one another, and literally we push each other. If we've had people come, we've had people go, and that's just the way it is. But there's a good solid team around us, and yeah, we all want to achieve, so we're putting everything in, and we'll help one another to get there.
Mm. Well, moving on from gym talk a little bit. Just a bit of a weird question. I wanted to ask you. Now it sounds a bit cliche, but I ask fighters this, and I get a different answer every time. What is your dream venue, place you'd like to fight at the most?
To be honest with you, in England, my favourite would be like the O2,
Mm.
or Wembley. Yeah, yeah. Um, then abroad, obviously Las Vegas. Everyone wants to fight there, but yeah, they're the two venues that would probably shine out for me.
Mm. Why the O2? That was the first one you mentioned. It seemed to come to you straight away. Why the O2?
Cause I've seen people fight there,
Mm.
and it brings so many different people together, and it's a big venue. You get a good atmosphere, and
Mm.
ultimately, that's the most important thing. Like
Yeah.
I've been to some of my fights, and when people are shouting your name in the middle of a round, and you don't really normally hear things, but when you hear that someone go Jordan, Jordan, and it's just echoing around, imagine that with a much bigger scale. So that's why I'd think, and if you're in England, that's where you're from, so everyone would want to support.
Quality. Well, last question from me. It's been a pleasure so far. I was just wondering, where do you see yourself come the end of the year? Because you're on about making that comeback towards the end of the year. Well, fingers crossed that happens. Come Christmas time, what have you done?
I'll put myself back in the top 100, I believe, in the world. even though I'm still only going to be, that'll be my eighth fight, but it will just prove to everyone that one little setback means nothing, and I'm
Mm.
coming back stronger. And yeah, definitely put me in line. It'll either be, well, hopefully it'll be for the Southern area or the English at Superfly, just so I can get that little bit of experience again, and then when that comes back, I can push on British, maybe even European. See after that.
Mm. Well, mate, like I said, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. I've been Lyndon Dixon. He's been Jordan PURKISS, and we'll see you on the next one.